something about having an umbrella in your drink and a flower in your hair that just makes me feel like I'm on a tropical vacation and on a beach somewhere and the sun's out and it's gorgeous, perfect weather. And that's not the case today. And this isn't alcohol in here because it's only 10 a.m. when I'm filming this. It's just sparkling water. But the weather is getting warmer outside, and so I want to share with you guys my favorite keto cocktails. These are going to be blended cocktails, and there's 3 of them that we're going to make. We're going to make a keto strawberry daiquiri, a keto margarita, and a keto pina colada. My goal is to go over all the macros with you guys. We'll talk a little bit about keto and alcohol, and then I'm going to also give you guys options on how you can make these a virgin drink without any alcohol in it at all. Especially this is great for kids. A lot of times my kids will come up to me and be like, hey, can I have some that looks delicious? And I'm like, sorry, it has some rum in it. But I'm going to show you guys how to make a non-alcoholic version. So without further ado, let's get on to our first cocktail, which is the strawberry daiquiri. The strawberry daiquiri is one of my favorite blended tropical drinks. It's actually been a favorite of mine since I was a kid. No, I didn't have alcohol in it. But the traditional strawberry daiquiri has a lot of sugar in it, especially if you're using the mix, which do not use. We're going to make these from scratch using fresh strawberries, or you can use frozen strawberries. But we're mixing the sugar completely, except for what's in a strawberry, that's natural sugar. In a blender, we're going to add 2 cups of ice, 1 cup of strawberries. Once again, you can use fresh strawberries or frozen strawberries. And the alcohol that we're putting into our strawberry daiquiri is rum. So I have 6 ounces of white rum going in here. Now, a little side note, if you love strawberry margaritas, you could actually just use tequila in here instead of the rum. And then to give it that signature flavor, which this is a surprising ingredient, you might not have known this is actually in a strawberry daiquiri, we're gonna add some lime juice. So this is 2 ounces of lime juice going in here. And for our sweetener, I'm going to be adding in 1/4 cup of a monkfruit blend sweetener. You could use whatever sweetener you want, allulose, straight erythritol, whatever you have on hand. Dump that in there as long as it measures cup for cup with sugar. Then we blend this all together until the ice is completely crushed up and pureed. Pour it into your drink glass. Garnish with either some strawberries or some limes, and you're done. Let's talk about the macros real quick for these keto strawberry daiquiris. I figure this whole pitcher makes around 4 cocktails, so 4 servings. I'm not going to go over the fat and protein because, I'll have it down below in the recipe card if you guys want to look at the recipe on my website. But for the sake of this, we're mostly interested in the carbs and the calories too. So 1 strawberry daiquiri is going to be 111 calories. The total carbs is 3.2 grams of total carbs, and the net carbs is 2.4 grams. So pretty good, especially if you just want to have like 1 cocktail. And you can sub out other fruit too. If you wanted to make like a blackberry daiquiri, or raspberry would be good too. You could do blueberry. Remember, blueberry is a little bit higher in carbs, but I also feel like the blueberry skin would not puree very well, so that might be a little weird and you'll get blueberry in your teeth. But if you don't mind and you love blueberry, then try it. Before we move on to our next keto cocktail recipe, I wanted to take time to thank our sponsor, which is Element. This product is an electrolyte drink mix. It contains no fillers, no sugar, no gluten, and it's keto and paleo approved. They also have more sodium and potassium compared to other leading electrolyte mixes, but this one also adds magnesium as well. They come in a wide range of flavors from watermelon, raspberry, citrus, orange. They even have a chocolate one too, which is really fun and great if you're craving chocolate. And there's no additional artificial junk in there either. It's just basically sodium, potassium, magnesium, and then it's sweetened with stevia. Electrolyte intake is important on the keto diet. Since you're not consuming a lot of carbs and you don't have that insulin response, insulin is what kind of tells your body to reabsorb sodium. So without that, all that sodium gets flushed out. Other electrolytes tend to follow too. So this is just a way of replenishing those electrolytes just to keep you going, keep you energized throughout the day. If you want to try Element, you can right now for free. All you have to do is just pay for shipping, which in the US is $5. And you'll get 7 packets of Element's electrolyte mix, one of each flavor. I'll have information down below in the description box. The next keto cocktail that we're gonna make is a margarita. This is just gonna be a classic margarita, pretty easy to do. This is gonna make 2 margaritas, but you could double this to make a pitcher if you wanted 4 margaritas out of it. Now, margarita is not my go-to cocktail. To tell you the truth, I got sick off of it when I was like probably 21. A friend of mine, we had like a Sex in the City. You remember that show with Sarah Jessica Parker? We had a marathon and we made margaritas, and I haven't been able to really fully recover from that tequila madness. And to this day, like, tequila just kind of sends like this instant flashback of whenever I take a sip of it. So I still like margaritas, but it's not something that I really reach for. But I know a lot of you guys love margaritas, so that's why we're gonna make this. So like all margarita recipes, we're gonna start by salting the rim of our glass. So just take a lime wedge, cover the edge of the glass with that lime juice, and then dip it in your favorite margarita salt mixture. So this is a blended margarita. You can make this on the rocks too if you want a margarita on the rocks, but we're gonna start with 2 cups of ice. Then add 4 ounces of tequila. I'm using a white tequila. You could use, gold tequila if you wanted. I just like the white's super smooth. And then we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of lime juice. And for sweetener, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of a monkfruit blend sweetener. Now, most margarita recipes call for triple sec, which is a like citrus infused liqueur, which does have sugar in it. From what I looked up. So to get around that, I'm just gonna add in 1/2 teaspoon of orange flavored extract. If you don't have orange extract and you don't want to invest in it, don't want to find it, can't find it, another substitute is just get an orange, grate some of that orange peel in there, so the orange zest, just like a couple teaspoons in there, and that should give you that same flavor. Once it's blended, we pour it into our margarita glasses. You can garnish with an additional lime wedge, and it's ready to drink. Now for the macros on this, once again, I'm just gonna go over the carbs and the calories. I feel like it's kind of hard to determine the macros on anything with lime juice. I use MyFitnessPal to figure out macros. And when it comes to lime juice, because I use just kind of like the bottled concentrate lime juice, because ain't nobody got time to juice a bunch of limes, because that takes forever. Like 1/2 a lime gives you like a tablespoon of lime juice. So anyways, it's really hard to determine how many carbs are in lime juice. I look up the one on my bottle, it says 0 carbs, and I don't really know if that's true or not. So I found one that actually on MyFitnessPal did have carbs in some of the lime juice. So if we're counting that, which I feel like they would have carbs in it, but maybe they don't, because maybe it's just a lime extract. Anyways, so if it's like real lime juice, then the calories would be 145 calories, 5.2 total carbs, and 5.2 net carbs. Now, if you use like a concentrate, or maybe it is just lime extract, then that was gonna make a huge difference. In fact, it'd be 0 carbs, right? Because alcohol doesn't have carbs in it. Nothing else has carbs in it. So it'd be 0 carbs. So I'm kind of confused on it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, how you calculate carbs from lime juice, whether you're using the bottled one or fresh. I don't have an accurate source. So that one's always been tricky for me. Up next, let's talk about my favorite all-time umbrella drink, keto cocktail, and that is the Pina Colada. I love this one just because it just instantly teleports me onto like a beach in the Caribbean. To make it at home, it is so easy to make, and it is unbelievably delicious. We're gonna start, of course, with 2 cups of ice. I'm also gonna add 1/2 can of coconut flavored LaCroix. Now, you can use whatever sparkling water you wanna use. If you don't even wanna add this in, you could just add water in its place if you don't wanna get a sparkling water. But I really like the flavor and just kind of like that little bit of bubbliness this adds to this cocktail. And we're gonna add a half a cup of coconut milk to that. This will give it like that coconut flavor. Plus it gives us a little bit of fat too. So it'll almost be like a meal. The alcohol that we're gonna use is white rum. So we'll use 6 ounces of white rum. And then for sweetness, I'm gonna add in a 1/4 cup of my monkfruit blend sweetener. Typically a pina colada has pineapple in it, and pineapple, it's not keto. Sorry guys, I know it's sad because I love pineapple, but it's filled with a lot of sugar. So we're not gonna be adding in any pineapple or pineapple juice to this, but we will add some pina colada extract. I'm just a huge fan of extracts. So we're adding in a teaspoon of pina colada extract. You could also use pineapple extract here if you wanted. You could completely omit this and it would be more like a coconut, like a rum flavored coconut blended drink, which would be really good. Blend this together until it's completely pureed and then pour it into your glass. I'm garnishing this with some pineapple slices just so that people know that it is a pina colada, but don't eat the pineapple. Now let's go over the macros on this pina colada, and I will explain the fat macro since we do have coconut milk in here. Now I figured this makes 4 pina coladas. So for each pina colada, it's going to be 143 calories, 4.5 grams of fat. Total carbs is 0.4 grams and net carbs is 0.4 grams. Really good macros, and believe me, this cocktail is delicious. It's one that you definitely have to make. Now, I did mention that you guys could turn these into non-alcoholic cocktails if you wanted, or a mocktail is how it's called. To do that, it's super simple. Anywhere where you are adding alcohol into this recipe, you just replace it with water. So instead of like 4 ounces of alcohol or 6 ounces of alcohol, just replace that with 4 ounces of water. Or 6 ounces of water. Now let's briefly talk about alcohol and keto. I've done a video about this before. I'll have it linked up here if you guys want to watch it. Alcohol, certain types of alcohol is allowed on the keto diet. You really want to just have it in moderation though, and just because it can slow weight loss if weight loss is your goal. And really alcohol is a poison, so it's not good to consume it all the time because it's very taxing on the liver, can cause inflammation, all that stuff. Now, when it comes to the body digesting alcohol, if you're consuming it with foods or anything like that, other fatty things, it's actually going to take priority in digesting the alcohol first, since it does see it as a toxin. So it's going to be working on digesting that, and anything else is just going to get stored immediately as fat. So this is just something to keep in mind. Kind of like why I usually just kind of like to have a cocktail by itself without anything, even though I know it's really hard to do because alcohol and food kind of go together. So I think alcohol is fine on the keto diet as long as you're going with like low carb options, like some keto cocktails, a keto friendly wine, things like that, but really don't consume it every night. Ideally just social occasions. So these are just my 3 favorite like tropical cocktails that are out there. I've made them into keto versions. There's tons of other cocktails that are keto friendly, and maybe I'll do a video on those in the future, including one of my favorites, which is the Dirty Martini, which is like vodka, vermouth, and olive juice. Lots of olive juice, green olive juice. It's so good. So maybe I'll show you guys how to make that one day.